Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra with me, Shel Bhatnagar, and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. Well, the markets have slipped to the lowest point of the day as we begin the last 1 hour of trade. So 206 points lower is what the Nifty is trading at, 22,547 as the current level. That's almost 0.9% of a decline that we are facing on this one. The Nifty Bank has also slipped to the lowest point. About 400 points of a loss can be seen on this, 0.8% of a fall, 48,596 as the current level, and all the sectors of the Nifty have also slipped into the red. There is no saving haven that we can actually find as far as the sectors are concerned. Healthcare index has taken the biggest knock today, 1.3% lower in trade, followed by the loss in the oil and gas space, FMCG, financial services, PSU banks, IT, realty, auto, you name it. Everything is seeing profits being taken off from the high point of the day. And when we look at the top movers on the Nifty, you have Divis Laboratories that's holding up about 1.2% higher in trade, followed by some auto stocks like Bajaj Auto and Tata Motors. Along with it, NTPC, Nestle and Tata Consumer Products are hovering higher in trade. But the heavyweight counters, Reliance Industries, Infosys, Sun Pharmaceuticals, Maruti Suzuki, L&T, these are the big laggards as far as the markets are concerned. Shel, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to Market Today. It being the end of the week and looking ahead at a truncated week. Remember, Wednesday is a holiday. A lot of smart money is now getting booked from just booked gains to the money getting back into the bank. As you can see, the Nifty is at its lowest point of the day, down about 200 points, 22,550 for you. There is selling pressure across the board. We track 19 indices for you. All 19 of them are in the red. As far as the advance decline ratio is concerned, firmly in favor of bulls. If you look at how the broader markets have shaped up, you have somewhere like 1,400 shares in the red compared with 700 in the green. So 2:1 favoring the bulls on the Lal Street. As I said, all 19 indices are in the red, led by Pharma, which is down 1.6%, 18,800. Out of the 20 indices, out of the 20 stocks that make up the Pharma index, 11 are in pain. If you look at the NSE 500, out of 500 stocks in the index, 300 are in the red, and therefore you see this red mark accelerating on the Nifty. 22,500 is a very good support on the option chain as far as the monthly expiry is concerned, which is on 25th of April this time. Let's look at the positives in this market, and there are two. One is the listing of Bharti Hexacom, 810 for you, 42% higher from its IPO price of 570 rupees per share. And what's really interesting is the volume. About 4,000 crores worth of Bharti Hexacom has been traded on the markets, and this is really interesting since this was an FPO, which essentially means that one of the earlier promoters, Telecommunications India Limited, a Government of India enterprise, has taken the entire 4,200 crore rupees that was raised in the IPO. Despite that, there is strength in the counter. The intraday high for Bharti Hexacom was somewhere in the vicinity of 880 rupees. Handsome gains today, up about 43% at 814, and it's been one of those bright spots. The other is, of course, TCS. We are awaiting earnings for TCS for the moment. Fourth quarter profit after tax is somewhere in the vicinity of 11,700 crores. That is what the poll of analysts at Business Today is saying, as also a 6% rise quarter on quarter as far as profit after tax is concerned. Let's look at the list of new highs. That's important to keep an eye out because this is where money is moving in despite a negative red tick on the markets. Usual suspects, some of them, stocks like Hindustan Zinc now 8% higher, 436. Parts of the commodity rally have weakened, but some stocks continue to scream up. Hindustan Zinc at 436 is running on very high volume. This is a volume buzzer as well. I'll tell you what the volume is at the moment on Hindustan Zinc. Apart from that, you have Exide Industries almost touching 400, 3.7% higher. Hindustan Aeronautics and BEL, the defense space, buzzing. 67,000 crores worth of orders given by the government of India to Hindustan Aeronautics for 97 new Tejas aircraft. That's a big plus. BEL 2% higher, 233. Across the board, you have stocks like Geofinance 372.40, half a percent higher. Petronet a percent higher, 305. Some of these stocks have come down from their all-time highs on an intraday basis. Nevertheless, in the broader market, some sentiment remains on the strong side. We are now joined by Vineet Bojlinkar. He's the head of research at Ventura Securities. Good afternoon to you, Vineet. End of the week today, as also a truncated week ahead. How do you see this profit booking in the market? Much desired, or is this excessive?
No, it's not at all excessive and absolutely much desired. And primarily, what is happening is that just on the eve of the elections, I think the market is taking a safety first approach. Given the fact that, while everyone is tom-tomming for a Modi 3.0 as a certainty, which I also do believe in, but, there is that outside chance that if things turn awry or if they do not come, we do not get the desired outcome, then the policies of the alternate dispensation are going to be in stark contrast to what we have seen happening with the Modi dispensation. So there is some kind of tentativeness about that, and we are seeing some profit booking coming. And I expect that once the first wave of elections are done with, and we know the outcomes, because in the first wave of elections, that is on the 19th when we start off with, elections are going to be held in Tamil Nadu and in the minority areas of Uttar Pradesh. So, these are two sensitive pockets where the Modi government is looking for to consolidate the gains in the UP minority region and to break in with increased market share in vote share in Tamil Nadu. So, I expect that once the numbers of these are out, somewhere around 20th, 21st of April, is the time when would be a judicious point to get early into the market in anticipation of the Modi wave continuing.
Vinny, very good afternoon to you. Today also marks the kickstarting of the earnings season, especially with TCS coming out with its earnings. How would you really look at TCS ahead of it? What would your advice be? Your own assessment of what kind of earnings can come about from TCS and from the other large IT players?
So the bullishness in the street on numbers of software stocks, and we also believe that they could be outperformers in the market. But one thing I will continuously, as I've been telling you for the last 3 or 4 quarters, is that the dollar is a potential risk. And the day it starts tanking, these stocks will lose a lot of sheen. So, as a strategy, we continue to be optimistic, but staying away from the IT sector, selectively looking at IT product companies, and that is our approach to this.
Between the large cap IT and the mid cap IT names, how would you be positioning in fresh money that wants to be deployed to this space? And where exactly would you keep your focus on your top specific bets from the IT pack?
So, product companies, Orin Pro is one that we like. Mastec is another stock that we would go with. And some of the Larsen Tubro names, LTI, Mindtree, LTS, these are some of the stocks that we think can do well.
Okay, Mastec, LTI Maitri, Orion Pro, those are the kind of stocks that you will be looking at, and we'll keep a keen eye on that too. Let's look at some of the buzzing names and ask you where exactly are you keeping your focus in those spaces as well. Despite the overall weakness in the markets, it's the railway space that's again buzzing. IRCTC, that's up about 3.5–4% higher in trade today. Even Aircon International, that's pulled up in trade. How are you looking at this fresh move in some of these select railway names, and are you looking at this momentum to carry on for some more time now?
So IRCTC is going to be an outlier because I do not view it as a railway stock, but more as a tourism related play. And the way the tourism is booming in the country, the newfound spiritual tourism, if I may say so, is growing by leaps and bounds. Indians are traveling a lot, and we expect this segment to obviously do well. So IRCTC has done a number of tie-ups with Zomato's, Swiggy's of the world, and they are really doing well. And this counter had been silent for quite a while. And now that the boom has taken off, I expect this stock to gradually inch up to 1500 in the long run.
Vineet, you're a value buyer by the very nature of the stocks that you've researched so far and the way that they've surged over the last 3 odd years. While the markets may have corrected, how should I say, in a piecemeal manner, but is there a list of stocks that you are keen to acquire, but they remain at elevated levels in terms of price? Would you share some of those names?
So, see, Adani Enterprises continues to remain our top pick. We like Gravita India, which is a very good proxy play on the metal space, right? So, obviously, we've been hearing things about metals not doing really that well globally. Uh, Metals doing really well globally, given the surge towards the real uh, value, given the inflation that is impending. So we like Gravit out there. We like Hindalco. Uh, Vedanta is a very good play. Good dividend even now, around 3.5 to 4%, and still looking strong. We like Lloyd Metals. We think that that stock is extremely undervalued in terms of earnings. So they've just increased capacity from 3 million tons to 10 million tons. And we believe that Lloyd Metals can really be a multi-bagger from the current levels. We like Zomato.
Okay,
Zomato is
okay.
a great stock to accumulate. In the
Okay,
pharma
I
space,
got
we like
Adani into. Yeah, please continue. Please continue, sir.
We also like Marksans Pharma. I believe that they're doing some great market penetration in the US markets. Current order book is about 100 million. We expect that this could potentially go to 500 million over the next 5 years and 5 to 7 years. So that becomes a very, very good high growth story, given the fact that they've seen their EBITDA margins move into the 20s. And even after doing the large capex, they're sitting on huge cash. So some fantastic businesses out there. We like PCPL or Philips Carbon Black. Philips Carbon Black is a great water story that is emerging. They are also moving into specialty chemicals. So from a commodity kind of business, now getting into the specialty which is related to batteries and also with semiconductors. So that's a very interesting space to be into. IRB is going to be a very strong play on India's road growth story. So these are some of the stocks that we think have got value and all can move up between 25 to 100% over the next 12 to 18 months.
Okay, let me just get this list right. I couldn't get the third one. You've mentioned Adani Enterprises, Gravita as an ESG play, Lloyd's Metal, Zomato, Marksans Pharma, PCBL and IRB Infra. I think I missed the one that you talked about, the dividend yield, the 3% dividend yield. Which one was
Vedanta.
that?
Vedanta.
Vedant. Okay, of course, of course. Perfect. So this is the list of 4 plus 4, 8 stocks that we'll keep on updating. And of course, Gravita has moved from 2 digits, somewhere like low 30s, low 40s when I was tracking it, to now almost towards a 4-digit run up. Of course, it's a 4-digit stock. Well, surprise, surprise for me as well. Vineet, the other thing I wanted to ask was your feel of what is happening on Dalal Street. The reason why I ask is that as the elections date approach and as the global sentiment sort of shifts towards fear, lots of smart people on Dalal Street are very keen to book profit. You can see it in the advanced decline ratio of gainers versus losers in small caps and mid caps in particular. the breadth there is deteriorating. What is your broad feel of sentiment over the next 1 month or so? Are we ripe for a decent correction?
So, let's look at the a global macro picture first. If we can take geopolitics into consideration, then the Israel-Iran thing, if it erupts, or rather, let us say if Iraq reacts to the uh, you know, to the or responds to what Israel has been doing, because Israel has done two big things. One, they blew up their embassy in Damascus, and last week, this week, the families of the premier of the Gaza were killed. Right, so these are two uh, incidences which could stimulate a reaction. The international community is trying to play this down. But if this breaks out, then the oil prices go through, and the India story kind of melts, because we are a very oil sensitive market. Second is, in the US, inflation has risen sharply, and rate cuts are, the probability of the number of rate cuts is coming down. Third thing is that we have our elections, as I told you right in the beginning. So all these three factors are making smart money kind of cautious, and they would rather wait for some things to play out or diminish, or let the risk off happen before again money is put into the markets, because our valuations are demanding, even though the growth factor still persists.
Okay, got that, and we'll keep all of those points in mind, Vineet. But now, I also wanted to draw your attention to the newly listed company today, Bharti Hexacom. It made a 33% premium listing and now has gone up to 42% odd kind of trading levels from the issue price of 570, now at 809 rupees odd is what it is trading at. It also went up higher than that and then saw some profits being taken off from the highest point of the day. How are you looking at Bharti Hexacom as a telecom play, and how should an average investor wanting to invest at these levels really look at the stock now?
So it's a great story to be in. And, I would just play this on declines, because as the major market sentiment is slightly negative, this is a good stock to cherry pick at, on declines.
Okay, got that. So Bharti Hexacom is a great story to be in. Cherry pick it at lower levels. Got that. Apart from this, the entire defense pack is up in action again, Vineet, and stocks like HAL and BL are again at record highs. Order flows continue for both of them, and therefore we do see a whole host of interest in investors' point of view. Even though with the kind of rally that we've already seen unfold, would you still be a buyer in this space, and which is your favorite defense pick as of now?
So, definitely defense space is not cheap, but India is looking at doubling its yearly sales numbers in terms of defense exports. And recently what the government has done is that with almost 30 to 35 countries, they've set up defense attaches out there. So, these defense attaches would help to these countries with imports from India. So that's a very positive step out there. Second thing is, now the initiative of Make in India has just started kicking in. So some of the, we were talking to one micro cap company recently, which has got a small arms manufacturing license from the MHA. That is Lokesh Machines. So it's the only Indian company which has developed a pistol, right, which is 100% made in India. And this company is doing great, not only in the new defense initiative, but also in the CNC machines, where they manufacture fine accuracy machines, which are like CNC and other tools. And they're finding great markets in Russia, which is, and also what is happening is globally, the market for manufacturing has turn towards India. Indian players are having record business, and this company is well based to benefit from both these verticals growing.
Okay, it's almost 2:57, ladies and gentlemen. What we'll do is we'll just take a detour into the markets. How should I say? The tenor of the markets is slipping a bit. Now you have a double-digit loss on the Sensex, on the Nifty. 22,540 is where the index is. Obviously, days low, and selling seems to, let's just say, profit booking seems to accelerate towards the end of the day. 1% down on the Nifty, almost 0.8% down on the Nifty Bank. Let's just look at stocks that are contributing to this fall as far as the index is concerned. L&T, it's down 2%. It's pulling the Nifty down by 25 points. HDFC Bank is down almost 1.2%. It's pulling the index down by 20%. Similarly, Infosys, ITC and Sun Pharma are pulling the index down by roughly 18 points each. Now, this is a bit of a pain here. HDFC and ITC are around their 200 DMA, and this selling has again made that resistance very, very strong. So that's a bit of a dampener as far as sentiment is concerned. But let's look at the positives. Stocks that are pulling the Nifty up. Tata Motors, 0.5% higher, 1,019. Just 2 points contributing towards the positivity. TCS, Tata Consumer, Divi's Lab and Bajaj Finance, all in the green and all doing their very minor bit as far as the index is concerned. So these were the pullers and draggers. I'm very keen to find out what Reliance is doing. At the moment at 24.97, the counter's down about 11 rupees. As our morning commentary had said, it's going to be a muted day towards bent on profit booking, because we've seen a very, very sharp run up. 21,730 is what the Nifty was on March 20th, and at the moment it just was a whisker away from 22,800. So it's a 1,000-point rally in less than about 12-13 sessions, and that needs to be digested by the market. Vineet, before we let you go, I'd just like your view on a couple of stocks that have hit record highs. Indigo in particular, do you see this rally sustaining, or is enough enough?
So I think, in my personal opinion, the rally has been in excess, and this is surely to do with some kind of a short-term corrective action that is happening because of almost 1,000 pilots kind of holding Vistara to ransom. I believe that this is going to get resolved only after the elections. The reason being that it would involve the government. It would need the government's involvement to get this thing sorted out. So what happens once this thing gets sorted out, then the premium that Interglobe is having, or the advantage that Interglobe is having vis-a-vis Vistara, then goes away. So my bet would be to book profits now and let the heat subside, and somewhere around 3,100, 3,200 levels is where one can look to re-enter Interglobe.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Vineet, then on that note, for being with us and sharing with us all your thoughts with us, and also various stocks and sectors that you've spoken of, and sharing your strategy with viewers as well. Many thanks for being with us on that note. Viewers, we'll also welcome our other guest on the show at this point in time. Nilesh Jain, AVP Technical Research from Centrum Broking, now joins in. Nilesh, warm welcome to you on Business Today Television. Good afternoon to you. Of course, some signs of profit booking finally emerging on the street after the markets have galloped pretty sharply in a very short period of time over the last few trading sessions. What's next? Do you see this aggravating over the coming days? Because again, next week is going to be a truncated one.
Very good afternoon, Sakshi. Good afternoon, Shailesh and everyone. Absolutely, Sakshi. So today we have witnessed first round of profit booking, and the Nifty has breached its crucial support of 20,600 mark decisively. And in the coming weekly expiry, which is a truncated one, the derivative data shows that the put writers are shifting their position way on the lower side. Even if you look at the derivative data, strike of 20 to 200, that has now the highest OI concentration. So fresh put writing, and I would say a huge put writing can be seen in today's trading session at 22 200 strike, followed by 22 300 and 22 400. So these are the indications that we might see a follow-up move on the lower side going forward. Even on the technical front, 21-day moving average, which is placed at 22 270, so somewhere around 20,300. So from current level, if Nifty breaches 22 500 mark in the spot level, then we might see another 200 point move on the lower side towards 22 300 to 22 250. So structure is looking slightly on a weaker side. Looking at the India Week's volatility index as well, which is trading at multi-month low. So from here, we can only expect a pullback. So IVs are likely to move higher, and if that happens, then definitely it will be a cause of concern. So as of now, the structure looks slightly on a weaker side. I won't say it's a major breakdown, but yes, it's a part of a healthy correction that may extend further.
Okay. Any stock ideas that you can share with us at this point in time? What would you like to add in these dips?
Right. So a couple of ideas. In fact, still looking on a positive side. So first one is buy on Tata Consumer. So the focus is certainly shifting towards FMCG and consumption. So Tata Consumer, this particular counter seems like forming a good base and witnessing a reversal as well. So we can expect a follow-up move. Even today, we have witnessed a build-up on the long side. So 1180 and 1200, these are the two targets on the upside. So Tata Consumer can be bought at current level, keeping stop loss below 1130. So that's the one stock that is looking positive. And apart from that, IRCTC is another stock. Although we have seen more than 3% move in today's trading session, if at all we see any dip towards 1050 to 1040, that can again bought into and keep a stop loss below 1025. And on the upside, the target could be 1080 to 1100.
Okay. Good afternoon, Nilesh Bhai. What a pleasure to have you here. There are some minor, how should I say, downtrends that are now accelerating. Chiefly Sun Pharma. It's been a outperformer of sorts over the last quarter, but today 4% lower. And this is accompanied by a very sharp rise in open interest, 15%. What are the charts of Sun Pharma telling you? Will this fall accelerate?
Right. So even if you look at the Sun Pharma today, we have witnessed huge buildup on the short side. So this basically indicates that we might see a follow-up move today. Even if you look at the volume activity, it is higher than average volume, and we have also witnessed a breakdown from a rising trend line as well. So multiple indications that the stock is likely to test 1520 to 1500 levels on the lower side. So any pullback towards 1560 to 1580 can be used as a selling opportunity, keeping stop loss above 1600. As of now, the structure looks weak for 1520 to 1500.
Okay, let's just do some trend analysis within the Nifty. I'm looking at stocks which are now at, how should I say, days low and have seen sustained selling over the last 3-4 days within the Nifty I'm talking about. Let's look at Dr. Reddy's down about 4% for 4 consecutive days. We have Hero Motors. I'm just getting the price right as well. Dr. Reddy's, Hero Motors, 1 second please. Let me see if I can also mention the price. Yes. Today it's 61 rupees lower at 6103 in futures. I'm talking about Dr. Reddy's. These are falling prices over the last 3 or 4 sessions. L&T, we are now down for the 3rd day in a row, 87 points lower at 3680. SBI Life, no respite in the previous 3 sessions, flat today 1494. HDFC Life 4.5 rupees at about 1620, and Cipla down for the 3rd day in a row 32 rupees 13.95. You will see a host of pharma stocks in this sellers basket over the last 3 or 4 sessions, and that's the reason why I checked out the biggest loser, that is Sun Pharma. Stocks that are doing well, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a question of providing the right balance on market today. When we talk of stocks going up, we talk about stocks also that have slipped, and vice versa. On the rising trend is Nestle, 20 rupees higher, 25.52. This is the third day of gains. Bajaj Auto, 9,073. This is up about 58 rupees. Tata Motors and Tata Consumer. The stock that I want to check with Nilesh is Tata Consumer. This is showing a fairly decent trend as far as charts are concerned, and of course on all parameters that make up technical picks. Nilesh bhai, is there a swing trade on the long side getting ready on Tata Consumers?
Right, Shalenji. So this was one of the stock that we just mentioned in a buy recommendation. So we expect a positive move to continue towards 1170 to 1200. Stop loss can be placed below 1130, and the derivative data also indicating we are witnessing a build-up on the long side. So in this kind of volatile market, we might see focus shifting towards defensives. So consumption FMCG basket as a whole, we might see some buying coming in. So yes, Tata Consumer can be seen from a pullback point of view.
Okay. Again, let's look at some of the stocks that are picking up in action. Along with Tata Consumer, there's Crompton Graves Consumer that's also pulling up in the F&O space, 3.2% higher in trade for this one. Is there a trade on this one as well, along with Tata Consumer, that you spot, Nilesh?
Right, Sakshi. So today, for Crompton as well, we are witnessing a build-up on the long side. Close to 10% OI has been added today, and volume activity is also picking up in Crompton as well. So yes, we can expect a follow-up move in Crompton as well towards 305 to 310. So these are the two immediate targets. Although it has an immediate resistance of somewhere around 302. But looking at today's momentum, I think it is likely to surpass its immediate resistance of 302. So stop loss can be placed below 290. And since today it is already up close to 2.5%, so if at all we see any dip, that can be used as a buying opportunity, keeping price target of 305 and 310.
Okay, so that's as far as Crompton Greaves is also concerned. The auto ancillary space seems to be in buzz, along with Sona BLW that we checked in the morning. Exide has now picked up pace, 3.5% higher in trade right now. The entire space, just on Wednesday it was the tire space that was buzzing, and now it's the battery space and the other auto ancillary makers that are in focus. Anything that looks positive to you in this space that you will have a view on, Nilesh?
So within this space, Exide is one stock that is constantly moving up, and in this week itself, it is up close to 23%. So the structure for this particular counter still looks strong for 410, 420 sort of levels on the upside. But we are not advising to buy at current level. But if at all we see any dip towards 390 to 385, that can be used as a buying opportunity because it has a support somewhere around 380. So buy on dip should be the call on Exide Industries. So that's the only stock that is looking positive within autos and autos ancillary.
Okay, let's look at themes that have made dominant presence in this week, and one of them is the wealth management zone. Stocks like Angel Broking, stocks like CDSL, CAMS, KFintech, brokers like Motilal Oswal Financial Services, Anand Rathi Wealth, all of them have given very, very strong gains, and they come back after a while. Some of the favorite stocks here, Nilesh ji, and you belong to this industry, are the Bombay Stock Exchange and CDSL. BSE is at a record high. Would you have a view on CDSL? There is a digit change here on CDSL, the counter moving towards its all-time high. What are the medium-term charts of this company telling you?
So CDSL looks strong. I would say still looks strong for further up move to continue, and I won't be surprised in the coming week that this particular counter hits a fresh record high and move beyond 2040 levels. So yes, structure-wise, this particular counter still looks strong. And I would say if at all we see any dip towards 1950, 1970, that can be used as a buying opportunity. If somebody is already holding the long position, then I would advise to keep a stop loss below 1920 and the target on the upside on a conservative basis, I would say 2050. And from 2 to 3 months point of view, I won't be surprised if this stock moves beyond 2200. So another 8 to 10% kind of a move can be seen in CDSL. Structure looks strong.
Okay, the selling on the Nifty is now accelerating, ladies and gentlemen. Losses are now more than 1%, 239 points lower, 22,515. We have about 15 minutes to go. My assumption is that 22,500 will remain with the bulls. There is a 400-point loss on the Nifty Bank. This is at 48,570. The Nifty IT index is also slipping about 280 points, 35,011 for you. And the broadest measure that we have, which is the NSE 500, this is down about 0.8%, 20,742. By any parameter, today is a profit booking zone. Remember, this is not selling, and that's evident by the way volumes have come up on the NSE 500, on the NSE 50, as also on the Nifty Bank. There is no panic. This is just a part of the normal course. You are booking profit after a very strong rally, somewhere like 2100 points on the Nifty Bank and somewhere like 800 points on the Nifty over the last 10 or 12 sessions. The fact is that the sentiment on the Wall Street at the moment seems to be taking money away from the table rather than boosting a record high further up. Now let's look at some stocks where you have a secular move. Among the sectors is liquor. Radico Khaitan today at 1771 is 3.5% higher. This is in sync with the 6% rise that you saw on United Spirits on last trading session, that was Wednesday. Both of these stocks are at a record high. Nilesh, apart from the product, is there anything else that you like within Radico and United Spirits?
Right, so out of these two stocks, we already have a coverage on McDowell, that is United Spirit, and our target price is intact of 1250. And the structure for this particular counter looks strong. Today's profit booking, I would say, is basically giving an opportunity to make a fresh entry. And if at all we get the levels of 1170 to 1175, that would be a good entry level. And United Spirit, one can keep a price target of 1250 and keep a stop loss below 1150. And this particular counter can be added at current level and on decline.
Okay. Right, Nilesh, also wanted to ask you on a few other stocks from the healthcare pack and especially the diagnostic chains that are showing some uptick today. Divis remains the top mover on the Nifty, 1.2% higher. Dr. Lal Path Labs is among the top F&O gainers. We have Newland Laboratories that's moving up. We also have stocks like Entero Healthcare, that was a recently listed stock that went up 20% in trade after positive brokerage house update. Metropolis Healthcare is in focus as well. What's really the buzz here in this entire space? Would you like to chase the momentum in this space?
Absolutely. So within this space, the stock that we are liking is Lal Path Lab. Even if you look at the derivative data, fresh OI has been added of close to 5%. So long build-up is happening. Along with that, even on technical front, we have witnessed a correction from the highs of somewhere around 2750. And in past 3 to 4 months, we have witnessed a constant decline and a falling trend line can be developed and can be seen on daily time frame chart as well. Now today, it has made an attempt to break that particular trend line. And looking at the today's move, I think in the coming week or maybe for the April series, the stock is likely to head towards 2450 to 2500. So these are the conservative target for Lal Path Lab, and it has a potential to move towards 2600 as well. So yes, this particular counter can still be added in the portfolio, keeping a stop loss below 2300, and upside is open for 2450 to 2500.
Okay, got that. Let's again look at some of the other buzzers. The railway space catching momentum. Is IRCTC on your radar? What's the next target that you spot on this one? It's already up 3.5% today, but after a long haul, it's coming back into flavor. Is there enough steam?
Right, Sakshi. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the show that this is also we are liking and can be added on some declines since it is already up close to 3.5%. So any dip towards the 1040, 1045 could be a good entry point, keeping stop loss below 1025. A fresh roughly around 9% OI has been added today. So good long buildup is happening. Counter is trading at 52-week high, and this particular counter has a potential to move towards 1080 to 1100.
Another theme that I would like to highlight for our viewers for next week is auto ancillary shares. Some of them have already moved up, you know, the likes of Exide in particular. There is a meeting due between Tesla maker Elon Musk, the world's richest man, and of course Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi somewhere towards the weekend as also next week. And this is ahead of possibly Tesla's entry as a manufacturing company in India, and that's enthused a lot of auto ancillaries. UK Auto, this is up 11%. You have Sona Comstar. Remember, Sona Comstar is India's leading provider of ancillaries that go into making electrical vehicles. This is up 4%, 680. Subros, 581, 3% higher. Talbros Auto, 3% higher, 288. The likes of Motherson Sumi, Gabriel, this is the shocker maker, 359.60, about a third of a percent higher. All these stocks are into good territory, and they are running up on fairly decent volumes. The index seems to be consolidating around the 22, 515, 520, 510 zone. So the understanding is that 22, 500 will remain with the bulls, and it is from this level that the assault towards higher levels will be mounted from Monday onwards. Let's look at the defense pack. The only secular trend that you can see in the market across the PSU segment is within defense. You have Hindustan Aeronautics 2% higher. Needless to add, this is a record high, 36.42. BEL 233, record high, 2% higher. You have Cochin Shipyard 1096, 0.4% higher. Mazgaon in the green, 2212, and of course Garden Reach Shipbuilders at 881. Remember, all these five stocks, the government PSU basket was much higher in early morning trade. Part profit booking, BEML and BDL were also amongst the early morning winners. Indigo slipping 3% lower, 36.85. More or less expected. Some kind of profit booking creeping in at about 3800 levels, again a record high. The run up has been very, very sharp as far as Indigo is concerned. Let's look at volume buzzers, stocks that have fallen and have fallen with substantial volume. This will either point to profit booking or fresh shorts. Within the NSE 500, they are Policy Bazaar 5% lower, 1264. Run up was very sharp. You have Prestige Real Estate 4% lower, 1193. Graphite India 4% lower, 654. About 21 lakh shares traded here. Sun Pharma we have discussed. Laurus Labs 3% lower, 442. Maruti, Oil India, Hudco, Sri Renikva. All these stocks over the last 10-15 days had shown substantial gains as far as markets are concerned.
Right. Nilesh, if you could also mention for our viewers top two BTST or STBT trades.
So Sakshi, defense space as a whole is looking positive, and HL is one stock where we are witnessing a good closing in spite of a sell-off that in spite of the profit booking, I would say that we have seen across the board. HL has been one of the outperformers for the day, and it has given a good flag and pull sort of a pattern breakout with a good OI has been added of close to 6%. So this counter can be looked at from a BTSC point of view. 3700 to 3750 are the two immediate target. 3590 should be the stop loss. So as of now, this is one particular stocks that can be looked at from a BTST point of view.
Okay, got that. So HAL as a BTST candidate on that one. How are you assessing the move on the metals pack now, Nilesh? Vedanta is up and about 3.5% higher. Hindustan Zinc, there's a very strong momentum here over the last few trading sessions and it continues even today. The stock is right now up about 8 odd percent in trade. And of course, the other space stocks also moving up fast. So the metal space is in action with expectations around the world that the Chinese economy is recovering and therefore the whole space has come back into flavor. How would you really play the metal theme right now?
So absolutely right, Sakshi. So in past few trading sessions, we have witnessed a good momentum in the metal space. So metal counter as a whole, no doubt, looks positive. Within this space, the stock that we are liking is Steel Authority of India sale. So in this particular counter, earlier we saw a good breakout from a symmetrical triangle formation. And on the weekly time frame chart, it has given a rounding bottom formation breakout somewhere around 140 levels. So from current level, it has a potential to move towards 160 to 165 in the short term. So this can be added keeping stop loss below 151. Immediate target would be 160 followed by 165. So still authority is one stock that is looking positive and there is no doubt about it that Vedanta is in a good and a strong momentum. The momentum may extend further towards 385 to 390, but not advising to buy at current level because the risk and reward is certainly not favorable. It is already up close to 70% in this week itself. So better to wait for some dip towards 350 or maybe 340, then this particular counter can be bought.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as the move is concerned. Let's again pull up TCS. It's moved up to the day's high point. Remember, the company is going to be coming out with its earnings right after the markets close, and this will be the one stock that we will be watching out for on Monday's trade as well. It's moved to the high point, half odd percent higher, above 4,000 odd levels coming in. Remember, there's an overall expectation that there could be muted set of earnings, margins could be impacted, but the outlook on margins is what something that everybody will be looking at. Deal wins is something that everybody is looking at. Technically speaking, is the IT space on your radar, Nilesh, and how would you look at these large players like TCS, Infosys, which will kickstart its earnings season?
So Sakshi, within this space, specifically large caps have underperformed, and in past few trading sessions, counters like Infosys, where constantly we have witnessed a formation of a lower top and low bottom. So this particular counter, Infosys specifically, the structure still looks weak, and looking at the structure, I think if at all we see any pullback towards 1500 to 1520, that might get sold into. So structure-wise, large caps are looking slightly on a negative side, whereas on the contrary, TCS is moving slightly on a sideways front. And looking at the technical structure, I think there will be a subdued numbers from the TCS. And as far as support and resistance are concerned, 3900 is a good support zone. 4050 is important resistance zone. And if at all it takes out 4050 levels, then we might see a follow-up move towards 4150 to 4200. So we need to wait and watch out for a breakout post, then only it can be bought. But as of now, it's an avoid.
Okay, as of now, it is an avoid. Anything else, Nilesh, that you may have caught, which I may have missed asking you, that you'd like to highlight for our viewers? Just about 5 minutes to go for the markets to shut shop for the week.
Right, Sakshi. So we did not mention about the chemical space. So
Yeah.
chemical space as a whole in past few trading sessions have witnessed a good momentum. So specifically counters like Aarti Industries, today it has hit a fresh 52-week high. Structure-wise, this particular counter looks strong, and we have witnessed a good build-up on the long side as well. So Aarti Industries has a potential to move towards 765 to 780, and this particular counter can be bought keeping stop loss below 738, and on the upside 770 780 sort of target can be seen.
Okay, so the chemical space and within that are the industries. Keep an eye out on that one as well. All right, apart from this, from the earnings season specifically, Nilesh, could you give us a sense of where are you looking at for some particular companies where technical bounce will also come along with the earnings, Philip?
So Sakshi, within sector specific move, if you look at, IT, we have already mentioned, we are not expecting any major positive move on that particular sector. Apart from that, sectors like FMCG, we might see some positive action. Looking at the elections ahead of that, the consumption space might be remaining focused. PSU banking space as a whole is looking positive. So within PSU banking space, State Bank of India continues to remain a preferred bet, followed by Bank of Baroda and Canara Bank. So we are watching out for PSU banks. Also within private sector banking space, counters like ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, and Kotak Bank. So these are the few names that are looking positive. Apart from that, Nifty PSE index as a whole is looking positive. So PSU stocks, we have already discussed about the defensive space. Apart from that, counters like Coal India, ONGC, NTPC. So these are the stocks that we are watching out for, and we are expecting a follow-up move going forward as well. And lastly, realty space. So within this space, counters like Godrej Properties and Oberoi Realty and also DLF. So if at all we see any meaningful correction within this space, that can be used as a buying opportunity. So Nifty Realty space from a short to medium term point of view looks positive. Apart from that, metals we have already discussed. We are also slightly bullish, but we are picking selective stocks within the metal space. So yes, these are the few sectors that we are liking from short to medium point of view on the positive side.
Okay, fair enough. Well, thanks a lot, Nilesh, for being with us on the show and discussing such wonderful stock ideas and trading strategies for all our viewers right there. Market slipping further, 242 points lower in trade. Remember, we are very, very close to that 22,500 important level, and 1% and over that is the kind of loss that we've already witnessed. The Nifty Bank about 0.9% lower in trade at 48,521. 465 points have been lost on this one as well. Sectorally, the action is weak across the board, with the healthcare index now losing about 1.4% odd. PSU banks about 1.3% lower in trade. So that's where the last part of weakness has really stemmed in for the markets from. Oil and gas, FMCG, financials, realty, IT and metals, they're all down in trade. And among the losers, the top losers on the Nifty, you'll find names like Sun Pharma, that's now down 4%, Maruti, Power Grid, Titan, ONGC, JSW Steel, Grasim, Tech Mahindra, Ultratech Cement and L&T as the top laggards. Just about 4 to 5 stocks remaining in the green as far as the Nifty is concerned. Divis Laboratories, Tata Motors, TCS, Nestle, Bajaj Auto, these are the ones that are holding on to the gains as of now. Top movers on the F&O space, Coromandel International, Exide Industries, IRCTC, along with it Vedanta, Crompton Greaves Consumer and Metropolis Healthcare, Hindustan Copper, Aarti Industries. These are the top movers as far as the F&O space is concerned. But you know, one more stock that we will continue to watch out for, and that is Vodafone Idea. Remember, today we've talked about the 18,000 odd crore rupees follow-on public offer that opens next week, and therefore the stock inched up 1.5% higher to the day's high level. There's another news that's lifting the stock higher. There is reports coming in from Reuters that do indicate that GQG and SBI funds may be eyeing investments in Vodafone Idea in the $2.16 billion share sale in the FPO. So there are reports that suggest that together GQG and SBI mutual funds are considering investing up to $800 million in the total $2.16 billion share sale offered as far as the FPO will be concerned. So GQG plans to invest about $500 million, whereas SBI Mutual Fund is considering an investment of $200 to $300 million in the follow-on public offer. It's an important piece of news. We will track it, when we open on Monday as well. Meanwhile, the markets have shut shop. 238 points lower, 22,515. That's the level at which the Nifty has shut shop. All eyes now on TCS after the earnings as to how the earnings will come about. And of course, we will dissect that for you. You can also watch the live information as and when the results get declared as well on our channel Business Today TV. So don't go anywhere and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Meanwhile, many thanks for tuning in for this one.
a constituency that has never re-elected the same MP twice, except for Devendra Bahadur from the BJP. Congress claimed victory in Sultanpur